Well guys, I am officially back. You probably have seen my first video back, which is a shopping haul, what I've been shopping in the last 6 months that I've been away. I did not want to start, my comeback on such a low note, so I did want to dedicate a full video of my health update. I want to just also thank people who sent me well wishes. They DM me, text me. I appreciated all you guys. I have to say it really aided in my recovery, and I appreciate everyone, whether it was said to me, via text, online, or if you could see me in person. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate you, and I love you guys, and I wish the best for you, not just people who sent me well wishes, but for everyone who takes the time to watch me on my little YouTube channel. And I just can't fathom how amazing so many of you are. And because this is the holiday season, first of all, I want to start off this video by saying happy holidays. Please spend time with friends and family, because you never know what someone's going through, and any animosity or anything that you have with someone, you just never know what's gonna happen. So I am gonna start off the video saying that, and I am going to be looking through my phone because I don't want to go off on a tangent. I kind of want to stick to the topics that I want to touch on, and I want to make sure that I hit them all as well. So if you are going through or had gone through what I had, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to link the video above. I think it's better if you watch that video because it was really me in the rawest form. Check it out. But let's begin. So I am first going to talk about what I had. So I had endometrial cancer, stage 2. And in that video, you'll hear me say that I had 2 surgeries. I've been out of work for about 6 months. I just recently, reacclimated myself back to being in that work mode that I wasn't in for so many months. And the symptoms that I had, excessive bleeding. It was so bad, guys, and I hate to really, be so graphic about it, but it was really bad to where I had to wear, at one point I was wearing a tampon, a maxi pad, a diaper, or sleeping on puppy pads, and sometimes it would just happen out of nowhere, where it will just happen and I would just be bleeding all over the place, and it was pretty bad, guys. I would say that if this is something that you experience, please see the doctor emergency room as quick as you can if you can't see your OBGYN, because it is very serious. I just thought it was age. Don't be naive like me, please, and please go and get checked. Sorry, that's Millie, because it is very important. It is very important if you want to be in this world, So that was one of the symptoms, and with all of that heavy bleeding, it really caused me to be anemic. And I apologize if you hear that. That's my husband. He's home. He likes to make excessive noise so that Millie knows that he's home. And you might hear some rackets and some ruckus going on, because he's gonna walk through the door pretty soon, but I apologize for that. But sorry, back on track. The bleeding was so bad that it made me anemic. So till this day, I am taking medication for my anemia, and with all of that going on, I also found out that I am type 2 diabetic. So if you guys had seen changes in me where I might look a little you know, not as overweight as I was, it's because my diet is consistently changing. It's, you know, in my opinion, more boring, but better for myself. All in all, I just would like to say, if this is something that you're going through with the symptoms and you haven't gotten it checked yet, just please do me a favor, and please do, and make sure you stay on top of it, and make sure your doctors stay on top of it, because it could have been prevented if I went on the height of when it started. I consider myself lucky that it is stage 2 versus a higher stage. And I have to say, I have been reached out by people who are currently going through it, or had just finished going through it, or is in the beginning of it, and it's scary. And if you're watching this video, I'm not gonna lie to you, it is absolutely scary. I really thought I was gonna die at least 4 times this year, and that's a scary thought, and it really puts your mind and your mental health somewhere else. So please go to the doctor and get checked, because I'm getting very emotional just talking about it. And let's move on to the next subject. Let's talk about treatments. So with my diagnosis, I had to go through radiation and chemotherapy. Again, because of my stage, my chemotherapy wasn't as aggressive as I've seen other people that I have met. I had radiology appointments a few times a week, and I had chemo every week. And I was lucky enough to keep my hair. Even though when I was going into this, you know, it's just my personality trait to know that if this is how, and if I really want to live my life, I need to go through what I need to go through. So I was already ready to lose my hair. Luckily, I was able to keep it. And that's just one of the little vain things that I had in the back of my mind, because that's the one thing that really signifies someone from, you know, having cancer is, you know, having to lose their hair. And I feel grateful that I didn't have to, but at the same time, I want you to know, if you're going through this, that prepare yourself for that, you know. But let's just think about it as this: it's just a moment in time. It's just temporary. I've already started, you know, seeing people who have lost their hair, but it is coming back. We're living in a time where hair is just something, you know, that's vanity. And there's so many people out there who don't have cancer, who are bald, and they're rocking it. They're beautiful. And I remember watching something on like Instagram where this little girl there is this dancer that I love. Her name is Paris. And I believe she did a MAC ad, and I think she reposted it, that this little girl who was going through cancer was like, hey, it's someone like me. And Paris doesn't have cancer. She's not sick that I know of. However, it's just, we're living in a time now where it's okay. So if that is something that you worry about, I want to worry so much about it, because it will grow back. It is a time that we live in that, you know, so many people are bald. There's wigs, you know, there's hats. There's so many things that we can do to cover it, but the main thing is that you are healthy. And for treatments, segueing back to treatments, I apologize. That's why I wanted to make sure I had like something on my phone to get back to. But treatments, yes, I had chemo every week, radiation a few times a week, radiation to hit my pelvic area for my cancer. One of the things, like one of the side effects, is that because it's so close to you know, that southern region, that I would have diarrhea issues, and it's very sensitive in that area. And I gotta say, both symptoms right on the mark. Yes, that is something that will happen, but again, it's just temporary. But the one thing that did linger for a while is a sensitive feeling in my hip area, which is something that I'd have to watch for the rest of my life, because the radiation does deteriorate some parts of the bones, to my understanding. However, I'm at that point where I no longer feel that really sensitive feeling, so I'm hoping now it's getting better. I feel better. I have no issues with my hips. I feel like I don't have any pain there or anything, so I feel okay with that. And otherwise, that radiation was smooth sailing. The people that I went to see was at Pearl Ridge area, so that's where my radiologist was, and that team was fantastic. All the techs there, just amazing. They make you feel like it's gonna be not a big deal, and that's, I think, what's the most important, is how people make you feel. And whenever I was there, I felt like I was talking to friends. They were fantastic. They're great. I recommend it if you are going through this and you are looking for radiologists, that you do check them out. If you want more information, please let me know. Comment below, or you can message me on Instagram as well, and I'm glad to help you with any of the questions that you have. But otherwise, that the radiology team, fantastic. With chemotherapy, you're talking about being there for hours and hours and hours, and you really can't do anything. I fortunately got to do all of my chemo treatments through my arm. I later learned that having the port would have been a good choice as well, because when you do it through the arm, it does make your veins smaller. So there were times where I had to get poked several times for them to find a good vein. I think it's because my veins are also very stubborn, like myself. However, I was lucky enough to get to go through that and did not need to do the port. However, depending on your stage and how many treatments you need to get from chemo, I would recommend maybe doing the port. Just because someone that I knew who had so many different illnesses, she said the port was the best way to go, because it was just readily available. You know, it might be one more thing that you had to watch out as far as infection and cleaning wise, but your veins won't pay the price, which now in hindsight, I am gonna knock on wood. I'm hoping that I don't have to go through this again, and I just hope I get to live my life to the fullest, disease-free. Next, let's talk about help and care. So I am very, very lucky to have a husband who is able to take leave and take care of me, and one of the most important things was making sure someone takes care of Millie. I think of Millie and my husband first before myself, first and foremost. So having him around to make sure that Millie is okay was my very first thing on the top of my list. Having him, though, being able to drive me to and from my appointments was fantastic as well. And it was just great. So have a support system. If you don't do this alone, have a support system. If you have siblings, cousins, friends, have that support system. It is very important, especially to your mental and of course your physical health. Is just have people with you. It makes it just so much easier and so much more tolerable. I have to say, one day I thought I was feeling good enough that I could drive myself to radiation, and honestly, that was probably the longest I've ever had to spend at radiology, because why did your girl think she could drive? I don't know. Everybody's symptoms is very different, you guys. And for me, my symptoms were it really felt like I had motion sickness and the flu together. Stomach flu, mind you, 24/7. I didn't know why I thought I could drive. I tried. Luckily, I made it. Luckily, I could park. There was no accidents or anything. But after experiencing that, I really realized that I couldn't do it, because it triggered my motion sickness so easily that it was even 10 times worse with the nausea. And I already have motion sickness, so I think that's why it triggered it to be like 10 times worse, because I already go through that. And it was terrible. Like, I felt like I couldn't really go around, walk around. I couldn't really walk Millie at all, couldn't play with her. If you caught me, I was literally lying around, feeling nauseous to the core and not being able to do anything because of the nausea. So 10 out of 10 would not recommend. However, one of the chemo nurses had said, if you have a tolerance for drinking, which I don't. I only drink 1 drink a year, and that's on my birthday, and maybe socially if I'm ever being social, which is very rare. But he said alcoholics, okay, I shouldn't say that. He said people who drink alcohol and, you know, they drink so much that maybe they do the hangovers and all that stuff, they have a higher tolerance for the chemo, because they don't really, the nausea doesn't faze them. But for me, we're talking about so nauseous, I barely could stand. I'm pretty much like this. It's pretty bad. It was pretty bad. But I know out there people have worse symptoms. So I was glad that I was able to tolerate it. And the funny thing is, it would last maybe a good 10, 11 days. And then I got a couple days of feeling good. And then we went back to rotating again, feeling terrible. Mental health and physical health. I just talked about what I felt like going through that. One of the hardest things of this whole experience was that as a diabetic, I was on a high fiber diet. So I was eating brown rice, wheat bread, more vegetables, salads, and then going through radiology, I had to be on a low fiber diet. White bread, white toast, rice. And my doctor, who checks on me for my diabetic things, did not like that very much. But she understood. She understood that that sickness needed really the top priority of, you know, everything. And that the fact that if I continue to take my metformin and continue to, you know, try as much as I could to not be on a low fiber diet, then great. But she knew that I wasn't in that mental capacity to go against what my chemo and my radiologist said. So, oh guys, I was with months. One of my favorite things to eat is poke, sushi, and your girl could not eat anything raw either, because the higher risk of me having a stomach problem, which could really hinder my treatments. So it was pretty rough, but at the same time, I was too nauseous to eat anyway. So it was just kind of like, but those couple days that I felt really good, you know, I really took advantage of being able to eat white rice again. I'm not going to lie, it's fantastic. I am back on my brown rice stuff. We'll update you guys. I will update you towards the end on how I currently am. But being on that low diet when I felt good was great. Now it is the beginning of December, and I am happy to report that I am disease-free. However, they say disease-free because can't say cancer-free, can't guarantee it, because it's already in my genes. And in the last couple months, I learned a lot, and now where it came from, and that I will not discuss in this video because I don't want to talk about any other family members out there. But I learned a lot this past couple months, and I'm not mad at it. You know, this is life. We have one. We got to do what we can if we want to be in this world to live our best life. and I am so happy to say that I'm disease free. I am back at work. Just like I said, I got already reacclimated back into work, and I am feeling a little bit better now that I have, you know, a rotation back in. I've been back at work now for a month and a half, a little over a month and a half now. And yeah, I mean, the one thing that I'm probably not back into is really like shopping luxury. It's just a little more things that I think of that's more of a necessity than, you know, wants at the moment, even though my birthday's coming up soon and I want to do a wish list. We'll see on that, but that's where I'm at right now, guys. And I've actually had a few people who watched my video reach out to me and telling me they're going through the same thing, or they have gone through it, or a family member has. And, you know, people that I've never met before who's been watching my videos, and I appreciate you guys so much. It really did help me with recovery. It really did help me and my mental health think better and more forward to the future, knowing that this isn't gonna stop me. And for you, I want you to know, if you're going through this is not gonna stop you either. Whether it doesn't have to be endometrial cancer, any cancer or illness that you're going through, just know that you're going to persevere and you are going to make it. And we're going to end 2023 strong and start 2024 out with a bang. But that's where I'm at, and you know, I am happy. I got to eat sushi again, which I love. My pokés, I love it. And you know, I got to see and spend a lot of time with family and friends that I love, and I appreciate them so much. They definitely help with my mental health. And if you are someone like me who spend a lot of time alone, or you know, or with just my husband or my dog, go out there, have fun, get in touch with friends, get in touch with family that you don't see that often, and just catch up. We never know how long we have left on this earth, so you know, it's a good time to make an amends, good time to forget about grudges, because again, you just never know. But guys, that is it for this catch up. If you do have questions, let me know. I probably said this a million times by now, but I appreciate you guys, and I hope you guys have a fantastic holiday season. Bye.